Well, I guess the burning question, John, is the Jets' season over before it ever began? Aaron Rodgers has gone public, quote right there, I will rise again, meaning he's going to come back and play next season. But, John, the rehab from a torn Achilles tendon is just a monstrous rehab. Add into that, he's age 40. I think it's a really tough injury to come back at such a very important position where mobility is critical. What a disaster. He took 3 hits on the first 3 plays. And I had talked last week with you about the Jets. Can they protect the quarterback? Well, Rodgers got hit, and then he's scrambling out of the pocket and twist, and his cleats catch on the turf. The torn Achilles did not come from a blow. He was going down. His foot went one way because it was caught on the turf. It's a terrible loss. His career, as glitzy as it's been, he's had a foot fracture, shoulder fracture, fractured thumb, fractured toe, 3 concussions, and 3 calf injuries. Wow. And yet he's hardly ever off the field. But this is a long road back. Green Bay loses because in the trade to send Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, John, if he played 35% of the snaps this year, Green Bay would have gotten a number 1 pick. But they won't get the number 1 pick because he's gone. They'll settle for a number 2 pick. Now, the question is, what happens to the Jets? Zach Wilson, the ex-BYU quarterback who struggled badly first 2 years, everybody, hey, the pictures at Citi Field, everybody, the fans throwing their hands up in the air as they were carting Aaron Rodgers off. What's different, though, is they've kind of rebuilt the Jets roster to kind of match Aaron Rodgers. They brought in a couple of 3 wide receivers. Well, Zach Wilson didn't have those guys his first 2 years. The offensive line last year that lost 4 offensive tackles with significant injuries. They're all back. They're all healthy. And they went out and they went into the marketplace and they got a running back. So I just got to believe that it's probably going to be a better team around Zach Wilson this time. And where are they going to go get a backup? Well, to me, the most convenient name is veteran Joe Flacco, who was a backup to the Jets the last year. Knows Robert Saleh, knows the playbook, the coaching staff, etc. Although he's never interacted with the offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett. Flacco, to me, makes most sense because he steps in. He's in good shape. He knows everything. He's been in the league. He knows their playbook. There is some thought about Colt McCoy, and there was a phone call made involving Colin Kaepernick. That, to me, would make sense if this were 5 years ago. But he's been out of the NFL for 6 seasons. So Rodgers is defiant. He's always defiant about everything. Rodgers is defiant. I will rise again. I will play. It is a long road back. But I think the Jets are not going to the bottom of the floor right now because I think they got better people around Zach Wilson, and Nathaniel Hackett will just have to coach him up and make him better to fit what's there. Your response?
So Aaron Rodgers, the savior in New York, he will rise again, be resurrected 3 days later. What a guy. I think this is an opportunity for Zach Wilson to step up. I mean, everything is there for him to succeed. I think that's a great thing. It's fun to think about Kaepernick, but Joe Flacco? I mean, how old is Joe Flacco? He's got to be close to 40 as well, right?
Yeah, but he's only there as a backup, but he comes in the front door and he knows everything about their system.
There you go. But what's your take on all of these NFL players that were upset about the turf on the field and wanting to get everyone to transition back to grass?
It's a very complex thing. Union has picked up the flag, and the players are right behind them. The issue is some of these stadiums are owned by NFL teams, so they could make the investment to tear out the turf and put in grass. Some of these stadiums are city, civic, county-owned facilities, which means we need field turf because we've got so many other events that are playing in the stadium that serve our community. This is not going to happen overnight, but this is the first time in a long time there's been a unification of the union and the players to get rid of this. Only time will tell. Next